Imagine waking up to find your neighborhood half empty. Sounds like a post-apocalyptic movie, right? Well, for some US cities, this nightmare is becoming reality. We're witnessing a mass exodus from places once considered American dream destinations. These cities are hemorrhaging residents faster than you can say for sale. Why? Sky-high costs, rampant crime, or maybe something more sinister? Stick around, because the reasons behind this urban flight will shock you. And if you're living in one of these cities, you might want to start packing. Number 10. Detroit, Michigan. Once the heart of American manufacturing, Detroit's been on a downward spiral for decades. Factory closures are accelerating, leaving more people jobless. The city's inability to provide basic services like reliable public transport and regular trash collection is the final straw for many longtime residents. Crime rates? Through the roof. People are fleeing faster than ever, leaving behind ghost neighborhoods and plummeting property values. The Motor City is running on empty, and its residents are hitting the road for good. Number 9. Chicago, Illinois. The Windy City's gusts are now carrying away its inhabitants. Chicago's facing a perfect storm of problems. Skyrocketing taxes are squeezing middle-class families dry. The city's pension crisis is a ticking time bomb, threatening to bankrupt the entire state. But it's the surge in violent crime that's really pushing people over the edge. Once safe neighborhoods are now danger zones. Families are abandoning their roots, seeking safety elsewhere. Chicago's famous winters aren't helping either. As climate change brings more extreme weather, residents are questioning why they should endure bone-chilling temperatures and skyrocketing heating bills. Number 8. San Francisco, California. San Francisco, once a tech paradise, is turning into a concrete jungle that's devouring its own. The tech boom that made it famous? It's now its downfall. Housing costs have reached insane levels. A shoebox apartment costs more than a mansion in other states. The stark contrast between tech millionaires and the growing homeless population is impossible to ignore. Add in earthquakes, wildfires, and power outages, and you've got a city that's literally and figuratively on shaky ground. The Golden Gate is becoming an exit sign for thousands. The city's famous liberal policies are backfiring. Lenient attitudes towards petty crime have led to a surge in break-ins and theft. Residents are tired of stepping over needles and human waste on sidewalks. Number 7. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore's charm is fading fast. The city's been struggling for years. A crumbling infrastructure, underfunded schools, and a drug epidemic have created a perfect storm. The city's murder rate is off the charts, earning it the grim nickname Bodymore Murderland. Economic opportunities? Vanishing. The port that once brought prosperity is now a shadow of its former self. Residents are jumping ship, leaving Baltimore to sink or swim. Political corruption scandals have eroded any remaining faith in local government. The city's attempts at revitalization seem to benefit only tourists and wealthy outsiders, leaving longtime residents feeling abandoned. Number 6. Las Vegas, Nevada. What happens in Vegas isn't staying in Vegas anymore. It's driving people out. The city built on vice is paying the price. Climate change is turning the desert oasis into an unlivable furnace. Water shortages are no longer a distant threat, but a daily reality. The tourism-dependent economy is on a losing streak. Automated hotels and restaurants are leaving service workers jobless. As the neon lights dim, residents are cashing out their chips and leaving Sin City behind. Number 5. New Orleans, Louisiana. The Big Easy is getting harder to live in by the day. Climate change isn't just a buzzword here, it's a clear and present danger. Hurricanes are getting stronger and more frequent. The levees? They're not keeping up. Each storm season is a game of Russian roulette for residents. The city's unique culture is drowning in rising sea levels and corruption scandals. Music still plays in the French Quarter, but it's becoming a swan song for many locals who are seeking higher, drier ground. Insurance costs are skyrocketing, making homeownership a pipe dream for many. The tourism industry, the city's lifeblood, is becoming increasingly seasonal and unreliable. Even the famous Mardi Gras celebrations are losing their luster as locals worry more about evacuation plans than parade routes. Number 4. St. Louis, Missouri. The gateway to the West is becoming a gateway to nowhere. St. Louis is stuck in a downward spiral it can't seem to escape. Industrial decline has left economic scars that won't heal. The city's population has been shrinking for years. Racial tensions, high crime rates, and a sense of hopelessness are pushing out the last optimists. The famous arch might as well be a giant exit sign. The city's attempts at urban renewal have largely failed, with shiny new developments standing empty while historic neighborhoods crumble. As other Midwest cities reinvent themselves, St. Louis seems stuck in the past, unable to forge a new identity for the 21st century. Number 3. Flint, Michigan. Flint's water crisis was just the tip of the iceberg. Despite promises, clean water is still a luxury. The health impacts of lead poisoning are a ticking time bomb. Trust in government? Non-existent. Jobs continue to disappear, and with them, any hope for a brighter future. Schools are failing, crime is rising, and residents are finally saying enough is enough. Flint's becoming a cautionary tale in real time. The psychological toll of the water crisis can't be overstated. A generation of children faces uncertain health futures, and parents are unwilling to gamble with their family's well-being any longer. The city's name has become synonymous with governmental failure and environmental injustice. Number 2. Seattle, Washington. Seattle's rainy days are turning into a full-blown storm. The city that gave us grunge and great coffee is now giving its residents reasons to leave. Tech giants that once fueled the economy are now fueling inequality. Housing costs are in the stratosphere, pushing out all but the highest earners. Homelessness has reached crisis levels, with tent cities rivaling downtown skyscrapers. The Seattle freeze isn't just a social phenomenon anymore. It's an economic reality forcing people to seek warmer climates, literally and figuratively. Number 1. New York City, New York. The city that never sleeps is having a rude awakening. The Big Apple is rotting from the core. COVID-19 changed the game. Remote work proved that you don't need to pay Manhattan rents to make it big. Now, the exodus is in full swing. Crumbling infrastructure, a transit system on life support, and the constant threat of another pandemic are pushing people out in droves. The concrete jungle is turning into a ghost town, with even die-hard New Yorkers saying "Fugadabudit" to city living. There you have it, 10 American cities facing a mass exodus in 2025. But here's the kicker, this list, it's just the beginning. More cities are teetering on the edge, facing challenges that could send them spiraling. The question isn't just whether you live in one of these cities, it's whether your city could be next. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated. Are you prepared for the urban shakeup coming our way? Or will you be caught off guard when your own hometown makes next year's list? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the American urban landscape is changing, and it's changing fast.